Good evening. I'm your host, Karen Hudes, and this show is the 19th segment in the series on the network of global corporate control. Today's program is about secret societies. John F. Kennedy had this to say about secret societies. The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. Secret societies are having a hard time these days as more and more people learn about them and their secrets are exposed. As Robert O'Bannon, a retired Marine, has said, "The enemy uses its near-total control of global media, education, and entertainment to maintain its invisibility with a high wall of false reality. But the accelerating social and economic stress to which it has subjected the American public by its massively fraudulent and destructive schemes is dragging the enemy toward the light and explosive public wrath. The enemy's critically important control of the U.S. military is rapidly evaporating." What are secret societies? One of the secret societies is the Freemasons. The first 5 presidents and many of their successors, as well as losing candidates, were Masons. The Masons have 33 different orders. Many of the people in the lower echelons don't know what's going on at the top. There's rot at the top. The secret societies are all interconnected and serve a common purpose, which is to reinforce the hidden agenda of the network of global corporate control. It turns out that Washington, D.C. has many secrets that are intimately bound up with secret societies. And we're going to show you a video which features some of these secrets.
After reading the lost symbol, I was intrigued with Washington, D.C. It's a city overflowing with esoteric symbolism. Zooming in from space as we can in Google Earth, let me point out a few landmarks. Here's the White House, Capitol Building, Washington Monument, Jefferson Memorial, Lincoln Memorial, and the Pentagon just across the Potomac. Rick Campbell has uncovered much of the underlying geometry of the city on his informative site dcsymbols.com. He sees the following diagram in the streets and interconnection of monuments. The geometry consists of a pentagram over a cube, all contained within an overarching pyramid. Each one of these shapes carries a meaning we'll be exploring. We'll see later in Egypt how the pentagram symbolizes the microcosm, which is everything in the universe, human scale or smaller. The cube is a recurrent esoteric symbol for the body that we'll be running into all over the world. I found a pair of 3, 4, 5 triangles between the cube and the pyramid. Turning off the cube layer, you see the rectangle surrounding the White House is also made up of a pair of interlocking triangles, this time with 5, 12, 13 proportions. 3, 4, 5 and 5, 12, 13 are the first 2 Pythagorean triplets. As you'll begin to appreciate, Pythagorean knowledge figures prominently in decoding this mystery. Where have we seen an unfinished pyramid before? On the back of the dollar bill, of course. If we illuminate the DC pyramid with the same all-seeing eye of providence, we are directed to a specific building. Is this the eye of providence we are looking at, or its older incarnation as the eye of Horus? Either way, what is behind the all-seeing eye of the sun? It's the headquarters of Scottish Freemasonry, which goes by many names, including the Supreme Council, Mother Council of the World, and House of the Temple. This building is loaded with Egyptian symbolism, with a 13-step unfinished pyramid on top, just like on the dollar bill, and 2 giant sphinxes flank the entrance out front.
of global corporate control knows that the secrets of the secret societies are being revealed. The media is now trying to minimize the damage this is causing to their effectiveness by attempting to show that secret societies are harmless and have no hidden purpose. In April, both Newsweek and Life ran stories on secret societies. There was Life's special edition on secret societies, and in Newsweek, The Hidden World of Secret Societies, an illustrated history of the most mysterious organizations. Not a word in either Life or Newsweek about how the network of global corporate control is trying to dominate humanity with its hidden tendrils. They're trying to desensitize the groups that are now learning for the first time about secret societies. The network of global corporate control didn't think that people would find it strange that two prominent publications would run articles on secret societies at the same time. In the upper levels of the Freemasons, there are the Knights Hospitallers, the Knights of St. John of Jerusalem, Knights of Rhodes, and there are the Knights of Malta. Members of the Knights of Malta take a blood oath of obedience to the Pope, and they're required to support to the death the desires of the head of the Order of the Knights of Malta. In this case, that's Pope Francis, over and above any other allegiance or any other loyalty, such as a loyalty to the Constitution for the United States of America. The Central Intelligence Agency is not in service to the United States. In fact, its headquarters is in Switzerland, not Langley, Virginia. The CIA is in command and control of each other country's respective intelligence agencies and military. In a previous segment, we noted how the CIA tried to implement the International Court of Justice's memorandum in April when they tried to invalidate the global debt facility. And this is an attempt which the Board of Governors of the World Bank and IMF, they simply erased it. The CIA and the International Court of Justice were just left exposed as part of the network of global corporate control. The CIA is not going to be protecting the interests of the United States if they take away the gold monetary reserves that belong to the United States. Why do people join secret societies? Here's what I was offered. I got an email. Hello, you're welcome to Illuminati world. You have nothing to worry about because you will be rich and famous in life when you are initiated. You'll be given Illuminati staff and ring that will help you in anything you want to do. After, you will be asked to come for Illuminati baptism, and there you will meet most of our high members. You shall live forever and be a popular woman or man, know all over the world. Their grammar was a little lacking. If you're really ready to join, furthermore promise and declare that I will, when opportunity present. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading you now the oath that the people make when they become Jesuits. Well, I'll tell you what I did when I received that. I sent back a response, which I'm not going to put up in the DCTV, but I will post it afterwards. It was, I'm not very good at following instructions. My forte is questioning instructions. So I didn't accept. But I did publicize that offer, which someone else later told me that since the offer there was a phone number that I was supposed to call. It had come from a remote country. They probably didn't have very good plans for me if I had accepted their invitation. But I didn't accept, and I sent a rather rude response. But let me read you the oath that the Jesuits take. It's when a Jesuit of the minor rank is to be elevated to command, he's conducted into the chapel of the Covenant of the Order, where there are only 3 others present, the principal or superior standing in front of the altar. On either side stands a monk, one of whom holds a banner of yellow and white, which are the papal colors. and the other a black banner with a dagger and red cross above a skull and crossbones, with the word INRI, and below that the words Iustum necar regis impius. This means it's just to exterminate or annihilate impious or heretical kings, governments, or rulers. And that is the group that got rid of John F. Kennedy. That's what they mean. And what is the oath that they take? I furthermore promise and declare that I will, when opportunity present, make and wage relentless war, secretly or openly, against all heretics, Protestants, and liberals, as I am directed to do, to extirpate and exterminate them from the face of the whole earth, and that I will spare neither age, sex, or condition, and that I will hang, waste, boil, flay, strangle, and bury alive these infamous heretics, rip up the stomachs and wombs of their women, and crush their infants' heads against the walls, in order to annihilate forever their execrable race, that when the same cannot be done openly, I will secretly use the poisoned cup, the strangulating cord, the steel of the poniard, or the leaden bullet, regardless of the honor, rank, dignity, or authority of the person or persons, whatever may be their condition in life, either public or private, as I at any time may be directed so to do by any agent of the Pope or superior of the Brotherhood of the Holy Faith of the Society of Jesus. There's a very good book. I've ended the oath. There's a very good book by Robert Galen Ross Sr., Who's Who of the Elite, and he lists the members of the secret society, including the Skull and Bone Society. Those on the inside call this the Order. For more than 150 years, it was known as Chapter 322 of a German secret society. In 1856, it was set up in the United States as the Russell Trust. It's a senior year society at Yale. It meets annually on Deer Island in the St. Lawrence River. Each year, 15 members are selected. George Bush and Secretary of State John Kerry are members. And we're going to show you a video of what happened to a student when he asked John Kerry whether he was a member of the Skull and Bones. It was not, it wasn't a very favorable response.
I first and foremost want to thank you for your time. You spent a lot of time talking to us here today. I want to thank you for coming and being open and honest. You recommended a book to us earlier. I wanted to recommend a book to you. It's called Art Madhouse by Greg Palast.
Yeah, I haven't actually.
Yeah, he's the top investigative journalist in America.
I've already read it.
And he says you won the 2004 election.
Right.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? You won in 2004. In fact, there were multiple reports on the day of the election of disenfranchisement of black voters in Florida and Ohio.
So what's the question?
Well, that's my question. I'm going to preface it. He's been talking for 2 hours. I think I can have 2 minutes. Thank you very much. All right, I'm going to ask you my question. I'm going to inform people, and then I'm going to ask you my question. So there are multiple reports of disenfranchisement of black voters on the day of the election in 2004.
Right.
There was also voting machines, electronic voting machines in Volusia County, Florida, that counted backwards. So amidst all these reports of bogus stuff going on, how could you concede the election on the day? How could you concede the 2004 election on the day? When in this book it says there were 5 million votes that were suppressed and you won the election. Didn't you want to be president? I'm not even done yet. I have 2 more questions. If you were so against Iran, how come you're not saying, let's impeach Bush now? Impeach Bush now before we can invade Iran. Why don't we impeach him? Impeach Bush. Clinton was impeached for what? Why don't we impeach Bush, all right? Also, were you a member of Skull and Bones in college with Bush? Were you in the same secret society?
That's all right. Let me answer his question.
Excuse me, were you arrested? Whoa. Is anybody watching this?
man. Get off of me. I didn't do anything. Help me. Help me. Help. They're arresting me for nothing. If you do not comply, you'll be tased if you do not. Can you let me go? I'll walk out of here. Just let me go. Hold on your stuff.
Do it now.
Put your hands behind your back.
I think if everybody just this situation.
You don't have an option. Let me go.
I'll answer his question. And, unfortunately, he's not available to come up here and swear me in as president.
Why are they arresting me? Can someone do something here?
Let me just say
I'm being arrested.
because it's a very important question.
What did I do? Get off me! You know what? Get off me! Get the f off me, man! I didn't do anything! Don't tase me, bro! Don't tase me! I didn't do anything! Ow! 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 Let me go! Let me go! Ow! Oh my God! Why are you arresting me? What did I do? What did I do? Can I sit? Can I sit? Anybody want to follow along? Just come with us. Make sure they don't kill me.
In last week's segment, I said that we would discuss the Secret Service. It's really a secret what the Secret Service is serving. They're not serving the interests of the United States whatsoever. They're serving the network of global corporate control. When I was admitted into an annual meeting of the World Bank, the Board of Governors gave me a badge. The Secret Service, the following day, prevented me from going in. I said, what's your authority for putting yourself above the Board of Governors and denying me access to the building? And they, what they did was they got a barring notice signed by somebody inside the World Bank who was junior, who had no authority to keep me out. And then the DC police arrested me when I tried to go into the World Bank. Actually, I was inside the World Bank, and they arrested me. And if you're inside the World Bank, nobody has the authority. The police do not have the authority to arrest anybody. So they arrested me, and they handcuffed me, and one of my elbows it had to be replaced by, I don't know what you would call it, by an artificial joint, because I was, I fell very badly. I also broke my hip, and then I went into the hospital, and this was when I was litigating my bondholder lawsuit against the World Bank for breaking the securities laws. So anyway, getting back to the secret society, they are actually, they're part of this huge corporation that's the network of global corporate control. And so what happens to any president of the United States is they know that they have to follow the agenda of the network of global corporate control, because the lives, their very lives, and the lives of their family members are going to be subject to this, this group. And one of the other things that the Secret Service is charged to do is to maintain what they consider to be the cyber safety. And so at a certain point, they wanted to take me off the internet. And I was warned. Somebody called me up on the phone and said that in 3 hours, they were told that since I had been committing cyber crimes, I was no longer going to be given access to the internet. So what did I do? I called up the Montgomery County Police, and I said, I'm not committing any cyber crimes, and any group that's complaining about me committing cyber crimes, they're the ones that are committing cyber crimes. And so the Secret Service did not succeed in taking me down off the internet. You'll see I'm up on the internet all the time. This is a way of showing that the network of global corporate control is not in in command anymore. What's in command is what I call a coalition for the rule of law, and this is all of the people in the entire world that understand that this group that thinks they're above the law is really not. And all of the assets that were put inside the World Bank are going to be deployed just as the Board of Governors decides they will be deployed. And the network of global corporate control has nothing whatsoever to say about it. I mentioned last week how we are using commercial liens to place all of the assets of individuals who think they should follow the instructions of the network of global corporate control. Well, those instructions are invalid, and people who want to follow those instructions are going to find out that they have zero credit, that they owe a lot of damages, because the people that are in control, that's us. That's the Board of Governors, and that's the individual citizens. And there are many layers of government where people are going to have to recognize that the chain of command is not where it used to be. The chain of command is with us. And this is a very, very good thing. And the most important thing is that people who have not been spending a lot of time learning about what's really going on are going to have to, they're going to have to get used to the way things are. They're going to have to work hard to get rid of the corruption and the way that corruption has played out over many, many years. And we're going to have to work together to find a smooth transition. One of the debates is how to hold the officials accountable that have been faithfully following the orders of the network of global corporate control. This is going to be a very strong debate because there are a lot of people who have been suffering tremendously from these terrible instructions. I think we're also going to have to figure out how to compensate the victims. And this is not going to be done from the center. It's not going to be done from the top down. It's going to be directed by people who are going to have to be setting up the chronology. We're going to have to get ourselves healthy because there are many things that we've been doing without knowing how damaging to our health these things were. It's going to be a wonderful transformation, but we're going to have to sequence this in a way that makes sense. And as I said, we're also going to have to get used to the idea that that a lot of things that were decided for us are not going to be decided from the center or the top down. We're not going to be able to leave things to the experts. In one of the previous segments, we talked about how the legal profession and the journalism profession and the accounting profession were just there to hide the corruption that was coming from the network of global corporate control. So we're going to have to stop leaving things to the experts. And we also have been discussing how the courts are not what we think they are. The federal courts were actually administrative hearings by employees of the network of global corporate control. Those federal judges would take their federal oath, and then they would simply forget it and start doing something else. And I filed claims against the surety insurers because those oaths of office were broken. So we're going to have to find a way to transition to proper courts. It's not going to be simple to transition, and we're going to have to find a way of doing it so that we don't unravel and we don't end up with more unemployment. Actually, when you have local currencies, this creates overnight full employment. There are discussions about whether it's going to be dislocations such that our stores won't have any food for us to buy. There are people who have been laying aside years of food supplies because they had no confidence in our ability to make a smooth transition. I do have confidence in that ability because we're going to be working together, all of us, and we're also going to be relying on our officials. I want to thank you for listening to another segment of the Network of Global Corporate Control. We've discussed secret societies and how the network of global corporate control is able to extend its busybody control into everyone's business and subvert their welfare. Secret societies cannot function in sunlight, and that is why we have exposed them. Until next week, I'm your host, Karen Hudes.